Good morning, friends. Welcome to Coffee with Lilli on this Thursday. So this is a question today that I have received, and this is a question that I asked myself for a long time until I kind of up-leveled to the next step, which I'll talk about here a little bit today as well. And that is, why is it so hard to get out of my own way? And I have some thoughts about this from my experience and what I see with working with clients as well. So, a few things. Our society, especially in the Western world, I have in my community, I have a lot of people all over the world, which is amazing, and I'm super grateful for that. It's just amazing and crazy. But especially in the Western societies, we are praised for our individualism. We, as a society and marketing, put people on pedestals. And I think that we have thought for a long time, and it's been probably, a century at least, probably more, I'm not quite sure, don't quote me on that. But it feels very ingrained in marketing, our society, even like the quote-unquote self-help gurus out there, that people reach this point of quote-unquote success or health or personal development all on their own. And what they don't tell you and what's not really talked about is the support that they received along the way to get there. And that's kind of where this question I feel like is coming from. For me, if you follow me, you know that I come from a place of abuse and trauma and talk a lot about codependency here in this community. And when I figured all this out, when I kind of started putting two and two together, I was doing all of this on my own. And it was very helpful for a long time, long time, years, to work by myself. And I read a lot of books. I listened to a lot of podcasts. I went to different free meetings. I journaled. So I did a lot of work on my own by myself. And I did reach a point where, and I'll talk about that in a minute, I think, I did reach a point where I had just kind of gone as far as I could with my healing journey, healing from my past, abuses and traumas that I had. And it was great. I saw a lot of epiphanies. I was able to put two and two together as far as tracing things back in my family. But I did reach a point, and I was so knowledgeable, right? I knew I was able to cognitively see what was going on with my dynamics, my family. I would be able to point out certain, red flags or different techniques that they were using. Excuse me one second. So different, techniques like gaslighting, for example. I was very good at kind of pointing those out. But I hit a wall in my journey when my real life, I had grown and I had learned and I had all this information and a lot of things were making sense for a long time. But I reached a point where in my journey where I hit a wall because my real life wasn't coinciding with the knowledge that I knew in my head. For example, when in the courting phase, romantic relationships, I was still continuously attracted to toxic and unavailable men. And I still, stayed longer than I should have. I still felt really shitty, but continued these relationships. That was an example for me. I still found it very hard, even though I knew what boundaries were in my mind, I still found it very hard to set boundaries with, a lot of different relationships in my life, like work, money, family was a big one. And I would do them, but it still felt really bad. Like I felt dysregulated. I felt off. I felt like a lot of anxiety and stress or depression. Like if I had to deal with something and I dealt with it, then I would be depressed for weeks, sometimes months. And that was kind of the point where I knew that something needed to change. I was getting in my own way because I knew what was wrong, like clinically and in my head, and like I could diagnose myself, but I wasn't able to make the actual changes in my real life. And that's when I knew I needed help. And I think that is the common denominator. If you are at the point where you really just can't seem to get out of your own way, I just want to tell you, like, it's not you. It's not like a mindset shift that you need to shift. So you're not doing anything wrong. Just a little love and compassion coming from my heart to yours. But the thing is if you continue to try to do it on your own, there's nothing else that's going to get in the way other than you. Does that make sense? Because there are deep emotional blocks, emotional wounds, unhealed wounds that need healing from the past that are making you stuck in going forward. And I think one of the proudest things that I do these days is helping people heal quicker than I did. Because I'll be honest, for me to reach that point, it took me about 3 years. The point of like, I need help. Like, I don't understand why I keep doing these things I'm doing. I was in desperation. I knew that there was something I knew that it was possible at this point because I understood it. But my real life wasn't translating to what I knew it should feel like. And so if you're feeling like I said, if you're feeling like you are in your way for the next step in your journey, it's because probably that you're doing it on your own. Because there's no one else to get in your way. And with love and compassion, it's not a mindset shift as much as like other people out there want to tell you. It's just a matter of healing those unhealed wounds or those unhealed emotional blocks so that you can move forward. And the way that you do that is in community, is support. A therapist, a coach like myself. What that does is it brings in someone, number one, whose only purpose in your life is their role in your life is to help you heal that and move forward. That's it. They're not asking anything from you. They're not asking you to do anything. They're not asking for emotional support, but that's their primary role, is to get you unblocked and moving forward. And the other thing is that if you're doing it all on your own, you don't see your blind spots, right? Your blind spots are blind spots. They're unconscious. And so like today, like that day that I was talking about when I realized like, oh shit, like I don't know what else I can do. So I know I need help. And that, I hope if you're watching this that you get to this at a quicker point than I did. But the day that I was able to let go and just fall into the arms of support was really the day that like completely accelerated and up-leveled my healing. That's why you see me here talking live and vulnerably on Instagram. And even today, I go to my coach and I say, or I have multiple coaches now, but I go to them and I say, this is what's going on with me. What are you seeing that I'm not seeing? And that is the value in the relationship, is to see things in a different perspective, to be mentored by people that have what you want to have, right? So if you feel like that you're getting in your own way, I love you. I know that you want your personal growth. I see you. And the biggest act of self-love you can get is just finding support to bring into your life so you don't have to do it on your own, because you will continue to get in your own way. I hope that helps. Real quick, I do have one spot available for my Align into Authenticity coaching program. So if you are feeling blocked, I'd love to chat with you for a complimentary chat to see how we can work together in pushing you forward to what you want, to how you want to feel, and have the relationships that you really want in your life, because you freaking deserve it. It's true. Love you all.